folks, how you guys doing? This is Mongo from Mongo's Big Things. Here's another video for you guys for your cyberkaiju event weekend. Hopefully you guys are having a good time so far. I know I've been having fun watching some of these different channels and the content that they have been making. So today I'm just going to make another little video for you guys featuring 5 figures that I personally love and that are probably, at least for right now, my top 5 favorite monster figures that I own. Of course, you know, with the state of how online shopping is, there are quite a few things I would love to own, but, well, ain't nobody got money for that. But folks, hopefully you can have a nice fun time as I share a few of these figures with you, and hopefully you'll find something that catches your eye. And if not, I have a few links that will be in the description down below for a few websites that you might want to check out. Now with this list, I'm going to go through them in order of what I think is the most difficult to acquire and what is the easiest to acquire. So I'm going to start with the easiest and we'll move on to the more difficult to acquire items here. So let's get started, folks. So first things first, we are going to start with the Bandai Movie Monsters series 1995 Gamera. So as you can see, this figure here, Bandai Movie Monster Series Gamera, is very nice. It's a simple Bandai vinyl figure, but I have to tell you that the amount of detail and paint application on this figure is amazing. Whether it's looking at the hands, head, feet, tail, or back of this figure, you're gonna be in love with this thing. You're going to love looking at it and you're gonna love posing it. He is a great figure. He's very simple, but I will say he is very easy to acquire. Now we're gonna go into overdrive here with this next figure. And this is the NECA 1962 Godzilla. He's a great figure. He's got a pretty great range of articulation, especially in his tail. There are a few parts that concern me with this figure that you should also be aware of, and that mostly comes down to his legs. His legs have a rather limited articulation, and the ankles where his feet join with the legs are somewhat frightening to pose. And in fact, I do not pose them because I do not want to break this wonderful figure. He comes in a beautiful box along with a wonderful little effect piece. The effect piece that I ended up adding a bit of a black wash to it that you'll see later on in this little sped up footage here. But overall, folks, this is a really nice figure. This is probably one of my favorite figures that NECA has released. And here we have another figure from NECA. This is the NECA 1954 Godzilla. It's a very nice figure. Unfortunately, with the figure that I got, I was very unhappy with the eyes. It had some very bad googly eyes with it. So I ended up just using some black paint and painting over the eyes and kind of just adding a bit of a black wash, I guess, to some parts of the face. Overall, I really love this figure. I would say it's as good, if not better, than the 1962 Godzilla. The articulation is even more solid with this figure. The only part where it's different and where it kind of changes from the 1962 Godzilla is with its tail. It has a wire tail at the end, and it also has a port for breath effects. Some things that I disliked about the 1962 Godzilla were actually good on this figure. The legs are a lot more mobile. The ankles are a lot less scary to handle. And overall, I think this is an even better figure for a Godzilla fan personally. He's a great interpretation and representation of the original 1954 Gojira, and I would totally recommend it to anybody who's interested in acquiring a piece of history in their collection. And here we have a fan favorite monster, King Kong. More specifically, we have the Mezco Toys Kong of Skull Island. This figure is great. It's a very solid King Kong, Right now he's a little hard to acquire on the secondhand market just due to the amount of demand that there's been, but you can find him, but it will be at a bit of an increased price. Overall, this Kong is great. He's got solid articulation in the arms. The legs are a little more limited, but he comes with some wonderful accessories, whether it's swappable heads, swappable hands, he comes with shackles, he even comes with a little andero. So I definitely recommend checking this guy out, trying to find him for your collection. And finally, folks, we have probably my favorite figure in my collection. This is the Character Content Productions Heisei Godzilla, otherwise known as the CCP Heisei Godzilla. It's a great little figure here. He is rather large compared to other figures from different lines. Now remember, this is not a Bandai vinyl figure. He is slightly larger. He's not quite as gigantic as, say, some X Plus figures, but he's pretty dang cool. He comes in at about 9 inches tall. He has wonderful detailing on the skin, on the face, on his claws. He has a wonderful thing going on with his tail, and as you kind of just take a closer look at him, you realize how nicely sculpted he is. I was very fortunate in finding this guy on an eBay auction, and I was able to get him for a reasonable price. So folks, that goes to show you that, when you take the time to look through eBay and Amazon and other online retailers, you can find some truly great finds and truly great figures as well. Folks, this is Mongo. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Hopefully you have a great rest of your Cyber Kaiju event weekend, and I'll see you next time. Alright. I hope you guys had a fun time watching the video. Consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing, or do whatever you want. I'm Mongo, and I'll see you later.